In my opinion, the biggest two concepts to grasping Photoshop and getting better at it is knowing how to do layers and knowing how to select. In this tutorial, I'll be going over some of the basics of selecting. To get ready, I would like to put a layer of black over this image to more clearly illustrate the selection tools. One way to do this is to go up to Edit and choose Fill. And you have many choices. You can choose a foreground color or from the background color chip, or just go to a color, or you can immediately put black or white. I'm going to just try black for now, and that fills my layer with black. Looks like I need a duplicate copy of that layer too. Okay, now go back to my top layer. All right, the selection tools that I'd like to talk about in this tutorial: the rectangular marquee tool, elliptical. I'm not sure I'll get to the single row, but maybe lasso tool underneath it, the polygonal. We won't get to the magnetic lasso tool right now. Well, there's the magic wand and quick selection tool. And there's other tools that I haven't mentioned, but we'll just start off with some basics. All right, even before I go to the rectangular selection tool, I could always go Control A, which selects all, and then you notice the infamous marching ants, or what most people that have used Photoshop before have referred to, or have been taught to call these moving lines. Sometimes I like to think of it as an electric fence. So you can zap things with the electric fence on, like I could press backspace right now, and I could go right to my next layer. I'm going to undo that. Now, to get the marching ants off, you have to deselect. So you have to go either up to Select and choose Deselect, or use your shortcut combination Control D. D as in deselect. And that'll take the marching ants off. All right, I'm going to draw a selection with my rectangular marquee tool. And I get the marching ants. If I move my mouse inside, I get this arrow, and I can use that to move my selection around. Feathering is at 0 right now. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now if I press backspace or delete, that'll cut through my layer. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to deselect. The elliptical is right here, and you can draw that out and move it just the same. To draw a perfect square, I would hold down the Shift key and do that. Draw a perfect circle. Again, I would hold the Shift key and do that. To grow a circle from the center of the screen, I would press Shift and the Alt key down, and you can grow it from the center like that. And oops. And I think you can do that with the rectangular marquee tool as well. Shift, Alt, and that one didn't work, so I'll have to investigate that one. All right, let's talk about feathering. Feathering will change the way you cut through. Let's see, if I go to 77 and I cut a hole now, notice the edges. Well, at least the corners are rounded, signifying or signaling that the selection will not be a straight cut, but the pixels that will be selected on the edges will be partially selected, and so they'll have a kind of a fade in or fade out effect. I'll press backspace, and you'll notice that there's a more gradual cut around the edge. Some of the pixels were left and some were cut. Let me undo that. Try it with the elliptical tool. Feathering is at 125 on this one, and I'm going to place that right about there, and I get that. This technique is called creating a vignette. Sometimes this looks better with a white than a black, but to get this kind of gradual edge is called vignetting. All right, I will undo that. All right, there's adding and subtracting of selections. So that's, if I created a selection here, I can add to it by holding down my Shift key. Notice there's a plus next to the plus. Actually, the plus next to the rectangular marquee selecting tool. Notice I'm adding to the selection. I just keep adding by holding down the Shift key. And I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. It's kind of a bizarre pattern. And if I press backspace, it's going to cut a hole through it like that. That looks terrible. So I'm going to undo that. But again, let me turn the feathering off and put 0.0 and make a selection. And instead of adding, I'm going to subtract from the selection. So I'm going to press down my Alt key. And you can do these same things by using these tools up here, but I'm using shortcuts. So I'm going to subtract it by using the Alt key down, press my Shift key to add back. All right, we'll talk more in our next tutorial on basic selection tools. Just introducing the marching ants or the electric fence in this tutorial.